Now, I imagine that I had a real good musical introduction here, and and I would appear. Basically, what we're doing, though, is just a little bit fluffier, mostly because I don't know how to do stuff like that. I just know how to read. And so I'm trying to read the best I can. Now, we're in a place in PARSHAT KEDOSHIM. I've heard, in the last few days, different drushes at shul about what the word KEDOSHIM means. There's lots of different possible meanings. It's certainly not the meaning that's described by the Catholic Church, which is the word holy, which refers to the Pope, who is the holy SEEC. He can see everything. Well, that's really not true. But it's just it's a political position, and as a result of that, it kind of brings down the concept of Kadosh. So over here, we're going to see something very different in the Zohar. Now, I think I'm going to read the Zohar first, and then I'm going to read the introduction, and then we'll come back to the Matok and listen to a comment that he makes. He says, Kedoshim Tihiyu. So this is the Zohar. You shall be Kadosh. Rabbi Abba once explained this. Umi ka'amach Yisrael goy echad ba'aretz. Who are like your people, the Jewish people? There are one nation in the world. Tochazi. B'kol amin da'alma lo Israel b'hu kudra berechu. There are no other nations in the world, and because of going through all of the different nations of the world, no one has a relationships Israel that appear to them like the entire Jewish people. Baruchu, Barbe Yisrael beluchudaihu, only the Jews, just the Jews. V'avad lon ambacha yechidoi ba'alma, and as a result of that, we become a singular nation amongst the nations, because the other nations don't know of this Hashem. V'kar lon goy echad kishmei, and so therefore we are called the one and only people in the name of God. And as a result of that, there are many crowns of blessing that are brought onto the Jewish people. And all different kinds of mitzvahs to crown ourselves with them. Now let's look here. He says that that we say that the tefillin that go on the head, the tefillin, the roa, they go on the arm. The purpose of it is to crown the Jewish people. Just like we have the crown that is going on in the world beyond physicality, and that is building itself up towards this world. And we find that it's really all oneness throughout everything, a complete oneness. So when the person puts on tefillin, this ater means he crowns himself barnash, that is man concentrate is kaddish behu, and he makes himself different. It's avid shlim ve'ikrach echad, he becomes perfect, he becomes complete, and he's called one. The echad lo ikri, the only time that we say the word echad, alakad ihu shalim, when there is completeness. Uman de pagin lo ikri echad. So then let's do the last part of Alda Kudsha Barichu Ikri Echad Bishlima the Kula, and that's the reason why Kodesh Baruch Hu, this is the name of the Shlemus that is coming towards us. Bishlima the Avacham, he is complete in all different ways with the completion of our fathers, our great fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Bishlima the Knesset Yisrael, and the perfection, the completeness of the Jewish people. Begin Kach Yisrael L'Sate Ikrim Echad, and that's the reason why the Jewish people, when we're down here below, and this people, what he means to say that there is connection. Just because we're physical doesn't mean that there's not the exact same thing, but in a non-physical way that precedes all physicality. It's a basic idea in Kabbalah. That's when a person becomes crowned with crowns that are very, very kadosh, that are different. They separate us. That's one of the definitions of kadosh. The ikri echad, and it's called one. So therefore goes out, and we see that they have a oneness which is down below, and works to make oneness. With what? With Kutshabarichu, the Ihu Echad, the Yishtadl, the Echad, and this is the Holy One, blessed be He. The Ihu Echad, who is only one. Yishtadl Be'echad, work on that oneness. The Hales Malkut Mishtadl Elavamad is Chazile, because only the king only works on what is fit for him. That's a little bit mysterious in the end there. Let's come over here, and this, if I'm going to do this little part right here, this little beginning part, then it's going to be maybe a little bit longer than I like to make this shiur. But it says, Kedei lahavim maimer ha'babah b'nakdim b'kitzer divrei haruchu. That's the Chaim Vital, Rabbi Chaim Vital. She'inyin kavanas Rabbi Abba Rabbi Hi l'bayar ha'pasuk kedusha tihiyu. Now, so we have, you should be kadosh. I heard some really, really nice drushes on this. We are that people, even though that we have strayed, but that's still that original meeting with Hashem in the desert, Mount Sinai, that's in every single one of us. So he said, because v'hu shenodeki inyan the tefillah, but now he wants to talk about tefillin shel rosh, v'shel yad. We have two tefillin, one to the head, one on the arm. Heim sod zohar v'nekabel, they're the secret of male and female, the secret of opposites. Ki tefillin shel rosh b'teferis. The tefillin really refers to teferis, which in Kabbalah means the middle line. The tefillin shel yad he b'malchus, still in the middle line. Knizka the command, as we're going to see this later on. Ba'al yedecha b'zecha b'nikbrach ha'adam hamaniach tefillin b'kavana b'obeli hesach hadas. So therefore, if a person can put on tefillin without being distracted, hesach hadas means moving his mind, distraction. Echad, the Hainu Shalem, that he becomes one, that is complete. Kihu Kolo, because why? Because he has within him Zohar v'Nekeva Ayeder Shem Yisyached Kutra Bari Ushkente B'Machanachas Tefillin. Now let's go over the words. Because what happens when you put on tefillin, since you have a head tefillin, which is male, and an arm tefillin, which is female, when you put them on and they're all on your body, Yehu kolo zachav v'nekevu, what you're doing is, and he wants to say this all the time, that this is something that can only be done through the convergence of two complete opposites, which is male and female. Because what this does is makes a yichud in the worlds beyond, in the original worlds, in the world of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is their anpen, v'shkinte and malchus, in the world of Atzilus. We're in the world of Asiya. But in Asiya you actually make things happen up above. Maybe Indian Zechel the Khan. So now I'm bringing this whole idea here into the Zohar. The Horazki Kamosha Kedushas of Tefillin. Hiliyosa Adam Echad Besod Zohar in the Keva, so that the man actually should become one again with the two opposites wrong together in one place, or together. Kamo kain kuz sod ha'pasa kedoshim tihiyu. So this is the reason why we have this. This is a pshat in this pasuk. You should be kadosh tihiyu shene'emer al eis hazivah. Let's talk about the time of yichud. He says why? Yehu mamish sod kedushas tefillin berosh of Israel. So this is really the secret of the kedusha tefillin that you have on your head and in your arm. Ki ein hashkina shora ela al misha nasui isha, because he says like this: the Shekhinah cannot rest on anyone except the person who is married. Ki oz na'asach ha'adam sholem, because when that happens, a man becomes complete. Remember that the word Adam, and most people don't know that, which is Adam, like Adam and Eve, that the Torah teaches us that Adam really means male and female. Adam was not born male, and then he picked up this female someplace. They are together. They are one. So this is the shlemus that we need to come back to. V'ikar achdusam, the real oneness that they're able to achieve, he kashem miskachim be'ez zivug, is that at the time that they will mate, they sanctify themselves. In other words, they separate themselves from the normal taivas that one has. Not that to say that the desire should not be there, but to make it kadosh. with the idea of zivug belev shalom, with a complete, the idea is you're going to be making a complete and total oneness, male and female. Beli shum sinera bepiruch and pirud levavos, without any kind of hate or separation from hearts, of the hearts. V'oz notzer b'sham guf haben ba'achtos shava. Then what happens is the creation, because this is the act of creation, is what living together is. V'oz notzer b'sham guf haben ba'achtos shava. So now you see that what's happening here is that the son, or the child, is going to be born out, is going to be born out of complete oneness. So therefore he will receive a neshama which is pure, innocent, v'lo paguma, and not flawed. So when a person wants to be miyached with his wife, he takes his mate, v'hu echad shalom, and he and she become one complete entity, ad God. As Hashem, as my Rabbi. Well, the Maimon Rabbi is going to have to be in a different shir. So we're at that point right now where we got a nice background to understanding the one basic principle which this Yemenite rabbi that used to live in Boca Raton always emphasizes this idea about studying the Zohar. It's a concept of Yehudim, making separate things into oneness. This is what the power of the Jewish people is. So we'll see this in the next year. We'll try to listen to the Matok and get his breakdown.